Welcome to English Podcast. Subscribe our channel for more update.
Okay, imagine this. You feel totally stuck trying to master something you really care about, let's say English. You've sunk hours into those language apps, right? Watched endless YouTube videos, maybe even shelled out for classes, but that real confidence is just not quite there. You kind of freeze up, the words get jumbled, and it just feels like you're spinning your wheels. That sound familiar at all? Well, today we're doing a deep dive into a pretty remarkable story, actually. A 30-day breakthrough in English proficiency. We're going to unpack how someone really transformed their speaking and writing in just 1 month. And the interesting part, they used an AI tool, specifically ChatGPT, as like a daily practice partner.
Yeah, and what's really key here, I think, is that this isn't about some, super expensive, exclusive program or some hidden trick. It really boils down to finding that power and a consistent daily routine, but pairing it with a genuinely smart learning tool. So our mission really with this deep dive is to give you, the listener, a bit of a shortcut to understanding how this shift, this breakthrough actually happened. It shows that, big progress doesn't always need the old school expensive methods. Sometimes it just needs focus and maybe the right digital helper.
Exactly. And that's what we're going to do. We'll pull back the curtain on this whole journey sort of week by week. We'll share the specific strategies they use, some surprising things that came up, what made the real difference. So get ready to see how a daily commitment plus the right tool can, unlock something pretty amazing.
Right. And to really get it, we have to understand where this person was starting from. Before these transformative 30 days, they described their English as, really challenging.
Mm-hmm.
They knew grammar rules, sure, had okay vocabulary, but actually talking in real time, they just hit a wall, like their brain would just freeze.
Oh, that's so relatable for language learners, isn't it? It really sounds like maybe a deep confidence issue, like a fear of making mistakes, maybe being judged, which then just leads to avoiding speaking entirely. And even after trying all those, standard methods, that block was still there. They could write a simple sentence maybe, but if you ask, what did you do yesterday?
Yeah.
Panic.
Yeah, and that really brings up a critical question in language learning. How do you bridge that gap? Between knowing stuff passively and actually using it spontaneously. What's fascinating is the very first step they took. It seems so simple, but it was powerful. They just asked ChatGPT, please correct my English. That's it. For instance, they typed, yesterday I go to the park. And ChatGPT didn't just correct it to, yesterday I went to the park. It said something like, did you mean went? And then explained why.
Yeah.
The past tense thing, that immediate, clear feedback, that was apparently a total game changer.
So it really became learning by doing, didn't it? Less about memorizing rules, more about immediate use. And they also asked for daily example sentences. Things like, I wake up at 7 a.m., and then they'd make them personal.
Right, and here's where it got kind of fun, it sounds like. They asked ChatGPT to quiz them. Fill in the blanks, matching games, little tests.
Exactly.
It apparently felt more like playing than studying, which makes sense why the new words and grammar stuck. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that constant low-stakes interaction seems to have been absolutely key. Okay, so moving into what would become week 2, the focus shifted a bit more towards writing skills. They realized, okay, understanding English is one thing, but getting their own thoughts down in a clear paragraph, that's a whole other challenge. And the approach was pretty similar to before, mirroring that early success. They'd prompt ChatGPT something like, help me write about my day, get a basic paragraph back. Then they'd try rewriting it themselves in their own words, and then ask ChatGPT to check their version. The AI would correct it, explain the errors again, that crucial personalized feedback.
And it's interesting how they mixed it up, too. They didn't just do daily summaries. They tried different kinds of writing, like short emails, polite messages, even little essays about hobbies.
Right.
Which pushed them to naturally use those important linking words, Also, because, however, made the writing sound smoother, more natural. The big takeaway here seems to be how this whole process just embraced mistakes, made them learning chances.
Exactly. It sort of demystified the writing process. Okay, so by week 3, they were ready to tackle what's often the scariest part for a lot of learners: speaking practice. The strategy here involved using ChatGPT almost like a conversation partner, but a very patient one. So the individual would type out a dialogue scenario, maybe ordering food, asking for directions. Then they'd actually speak their lines out loud while reading the responses ChatGPT gave. This let them practice the act of thinking and speaking in English, but, without any real-world pressure.
Oh, okay. So it was like unpressured role-playing. They could mess up, rephrase, start over as much as they needed. And the big question then is, did it feel different? Did they notice actual progress?
They reported a huge yes. Apparently, they started noticing they weren't translating in their head so much anymore. Sentences started coming out faster. And they even found themselves kind of naturally practicing small talk, like, how's your day going? Things like that. The real breakthrough, though, wasn't just the practice itself. It was that ChatGPT offered this completely judgment-free zone. Mistakes weren't just corrected, they were sort of embraced.
Yeah.
Like data points, which helps you get comfortable with productive failure way faster than, say, a human tutor could consistently offer on demand. They could just say, oops, can you fix that? And ChatGPT would just nicely explain it. This continuous low-stakes feedback loop, absolutely critical for building real confidence.
Wow. Okay, so by week 4, it sounds like it was really about hitting a new level. Fluency, confidence. This was the final push, and it sounds like a genuine shift happened. It wasn't just learning English anymore. They were really using it. That feeling of confidence, writing, speaking, even thinking in English became like a daily thing.
And connecting this to the bigger picture, the key thing in that final stretch was learning to sound, natural. ChatGPT didn't just hammer grammar rules. It helped them internalize the rhythm of English. So effortlessly using contractions like don't instead of do not. Even picking up common conversational fillers like or I guess things that make you sound less like a textbook.
Right, more like a native speaker.
Exactly. And they kept practicing those real-life conversations daily, often just short, like 5-line dialogues about shopping or directions. They described that as pure gold for being ready for the real world.
And the proof is really in the pudding, isn't it? The person who started out feeling stuck, afraid to speak, is now, co-hosting a podcast, which they said felt unreal. But thanks to that consistent daily practice with ChatGPT, they now genuinely feel like a confident English speaker. It's just a powerful example of what focus and a smart tool can do.
Yeah, and if you boil it down, why did ChatGPT work so well here? 3 big reasons seem to stand out. First, it's always available, right? Unlimited practice anytime, no scheduling hassles.
24/7 access.
Exactly. Second, that instant personalized feedback, clear corrections in context, reinforcing learning right away. And third, maybe the most crucial, zero pressure. That just eliminates the fear of embarrassment, the fear of judgment, which is often the biggest hurdle,
Plus, it adapted to their level, right? Kept it challenging but not overwhelming, made it genuinely fun.
Yeah.
It really sounds like having a smart, friendly teacher who's just always there. So for anyone listening who feels inspired, wants to try this, the core tips from their journey are actually super straightforward. Be specific when you ask ChatGPT questions.
Yeah, good point.
Practice daily. Even just 10 or 15 minutes, it makes a huge difference, apparently. And always, always ask for the why. Ask for explanations, not just the answer. Understand it.
And it's vital to practice speaking out loud, too. You have to train your mouth,
Yeah.
train your ears. That physical part is key. And finally, mix it up. Use ChatGPT for everything. Grammar, writing, vocab, conversation. Don't just stick to one thing.
This whole journey, it really highlights that transformative power, doesn't it? Consistency and smart tools. Going from struggling to, well, fluent feeling in just 30 days is genuinely inspiring.
And it makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah?
Here's a thought. If someone can make such a huge leap in English in just 30 days with a consistent routine and the right tool, what other learning goals could you unlock with a similar focused approach? Maybe something you've been putting off.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we want to challenge you, drawing right from this story. Are you ready for your own 30-day ChatGPT challenge? Just commit 10, maybe 15 minutes a day. Use ChatGPT for whatever your biggest hurdle is right now. Grammar, vocabulary, speaking, writing. The absolute most important thing, as we've just heard, is just be consistent. Show up every day.
And maybe track your progress. Keep a little journal. Even small wins add up really fast. Celebrate those wins along the way. It keeps you going. And hey, if you feel up for it, share your story. We'd genuinely love to hear how it goes for you.
Because honestly, if one person can do this, you can do it too. Keep learning, keep practicing, and remember, you're definitely not alone on this journey to mastering whatever you're aiming for.